appears to be running upstream, contrary to the world's way of doing things. And I maintain this position. Reminding myself as often as is necessary that awareness is who I am. That awareness is what I am. The why I am. And that identity is not a human one, not a worldly one, not a sick, sinning, ignorant, or quarreling one, but the holy one, the whole one, the perfect one. You know, we all know what we found. We know of the inner peace, the light, the love, the insight and wonder of being that we have found light to be, truth to be. You all know what the truth has meant to us over the years. All the hellfire and damnation the world can muster cannot efface the grace that we felt. The challenges we face, like lions in the Colosseum, may appear to tear the old nature apart, the old man, the belief apart. Oh, but all that's torn, all that can be, is a concept that was never real, a belief that was never real. The grace of identity stands untouched, untroubled, singing and clapping its hands with the angels. It has been said that the discernment of identity is an uphill struggle, but it isn't really. You may have come here thinking that it was going to be an uphill struggle. But you see, we are what we are, whether it's seen or not. And the simple knowledge of this fact is a great aid. Awareness is our identity, and awareness is aware whether we struggle with it or not. The fact of awareness functioning is ever effortless. It's ever going about its business of seeing, hearing, feeling, and including thoughts, all within itself, just as it's about the business of listening to these words right now. I can tell you that much of the effort goes out of our daily struggle. The very minute we extend this sense of identity from this body point from which we observe things, you see, the minute we extend it to infinite awareness, doing the observing, unbound awareness itself. Now, as this expanded identity, the body point is not excluded. But it is seen as sort of the center within an infinite identification that includes the universe within itself, that includes every grain of sand and every star and every blade of grass in the universe. So what do? We live this child of God that we are already. And we live it without effort, without struggle. And most wonderfully, I can tell you, we live it without inhibitions. You see, this conscious awareness being us, this awareness that's going on right here, right now, listening to these words, is deity's self-awareness in action, for which deity, isnness, reality, God, is responsible. The weight of the world, the weight of the entire world, and with all of its guilt, is lifted from our shoulders the very instant we stop trying to be an ego, protector, custodian, possessor of awareness. The very minute we stop trying to be a personality, an ego, a big phantom bugaboo protecting his flock from the outspoken teachings of somebody. Well, the instant we stop trying to be an ego out to protect his images, out to protect his sense of possessions, the minute we stop trying to be one intent on healing perfection, when perfection stands tall and perfect, quite without need of healing, the instant we stop doing all of that, we awaken to a whole new world. Yesterday we had quite a talk about living judgelessly. It seemed the point was well understood. Now I would like to make clear something that happens as we live judgelessly, something that some of you have already run across. Incidentally, to live judgelessly means simply to live as awareness itself, to perceive identity to be just this awareness and nothing else. When I say nothing else, that includes the world, though, doesn't it? Because awareness is the total function of mind. So when we assume the real identity, we are not losing anything, we're gaining a sense of infinity. Now, the point that I'd like to make has already been found out by many of you. You've mentioned it to me. The fact that as we stop living as the possessor of awareness, as we stop living judgmentally, as we stop placing good and bad values on our images of awareness, our ability to distinguish increases. It increases enormously. Now listen, there's a great difference between value judgments and distinctions. It's a difference, however, that isn't very easily understood until we actually get underway and begin living judgelessly. Then, and not until then, it becomes apparent just what this difference is. And then our actions follow suit. Now, to make this point very clear, let me say it again. The ability to distinguish increases as judgment ends. Distinguish what? Well, new sights that we've been unconscious of before. Oh, we hear new sounds that we have never consciously heard before. Last evening someone mentioned the sound, the wind blowing through my pines out there. Of course, this is a sound that's always been with us. We became very conscious of it last night. Whispering pine. Oh, but new feelings. We become conscious of feelings that we long since thought had vanished with the years. But more than this, we find an ever-growing new ability to distinguish things in areas that are generally recognized as not even containing things to distinguish. An illustration I might use, or an analogy I might make, it would be sort of like we had forever been looking at a bowl full of marbles. And heretofore they had only been round. We would all agree, we would say, well, they are all round. But as we live just a simple, credulous, childlike awareness, lo, we find that we see what others don't seem to see. Suddenly we see that not only are they round, but they have different colors. And this means that each of them is a little different. We see that perhaps the design is different in them. We perhaps see that they're different sizes. Now, the point I make here is that these are distinctions that we are beginning to perceive. And we find that these are distinctions that others who do not, and when I say others, I mean only other aspects of ourselves, other people, but it appears that they don't see these things. So I'm telling you again, to answer your question, Betty, yes, perception does become very clear, very acute. An intuitive alertness develops. Inevitably, the wonder is how we could have been so darn dumb to have missed it all these years. As our acuity develops as the consequence of living as judgeless awareness, we begin to find ourselves seeing things about things that we've never seen before. We find ourselves interested in things that we've never been interested in before. Oh, we have a broadened, widened sense of appreciation. No question about it. Right here, well, let me, for instance, read you something here. Here is, if you will imagine this, a very lovely lady by the name of Catherine Nelson Davis was walking up a beach one day, and in a state of wide open awareness, as poets most often are, with that listening attitude that comes from being credulous, childlike mind in action. And she looked down on the sand and she saw a feather. One feather. You know, you can look down on the sand nowadays and find all kinds of things like beer bottles and combs and old tires, but here she was on a stretch of clean sand and she saw just a feather. Listen to what she wrote. One air-spun pearl gray feather tipped with whiteness brings visions of the soar and lift of wings, of fluent grace and sweeping arcs of seagulls, of stately lyric beauty and compelling things. I see the crystal sea, moon-washed with silver, and feel the cooling wetness of the sand, the sting of misty salt spray on my shoulders, the lapping of the waves across my hand. One air-spun pearl gray feather, fragile wonder, once etched against the sky, or on the shore. The pinion of a proud, majestic creature as free as wanton winds to swirl, to roar. Can one dream dreams of loveliness and grace without a fleeting glimpse of heaven's face? Well, all it was a gray feather, and yet awareness could see all of those things as the consequence, and this is not unusual. You too will find yourself, in fact, all of you are seeing more now than you've ever seen before. And you know this is so. You know this is so. The child we are is alert, sees every little thing that happens, and notices every bit. To pick up a feather is just a feather to some, but to this lady, one air-spun pearl gray feather tipped with whiteness brings visions of the roar and lift of wings, a fluent grace and sweeping arcs of seagulls, of stately lyric beauty and compelling things. Well, it may be just an ordinary view to some people, but as she held that feather in her hand, she could say, I see the crystal sea moon-washed with silver and feel the cooling wetness of the sand, the sting of misty salt spray on my shoulders, the lapping of the waves across my hand. One air-spun pearl gray feather, fragile wonder, once etched against the sky or on the shore, the pinion of a proud, majestic creature as free as wanton winds to swirl, to soar. Can one dream dreams of loveliness and grace without a fleeting glimpse of heaven's face? Well, of course, we can all answer that for Catherine. Of course not. We see heaven's face, and with much more than a fleeting glimpse. You know that I've long ago given up on this business of trying to say everything so absolutely and having everything very profound. We just say it like it comes to be said. And if we're honest about it, then not only what we say is understood, but what seems to be behind it is understood too. So I don't know why I should all of a sudden want to read a poem. I don't do it very often. I did the other day though. But maybe because I was a soldier. This particular poem had significance to me. This was written by a soldier whose name we don't know, and he was a Confederate soldier. And perhaps the most, as wars go, the most vicious war this country has ever suffered, a time when polarization burst into flame. And as appearances go, this is a new time of polarization. But listen to these words, not absolute words, just simple words of a soldier. I asked God for strength that I might achieve. I was made weak that I might learn humbly to obey. I asked for help that I might do greater things. I was given infirmity that I might do better things. I asked for riches that I might be happy. I was given poverty that I might be wise. I asked for all things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I got nothing that I asked for. Oh, but I got everything I had hoped for. Despite myself, my prayers were answered. I am among all men most richly blessed. I'm, I'm sorry. But words like that communicate too, don't they? Of course they do. They point to love. And I can echo those words. I am among all men most richly blessed. I am. And I know I am. Oh, and I can tell you that with this blessing, that I can tell you how blessed you are. That you are blessed with perfection and purity and beauty and holiness beyond all belief. Beyond all belief. Okay, we better take a break. A call came on the phone, and it was a lady who told me that she had been paralyzed and that she was frightened. And so we were talking. And in the course of the conversation, all of a sudden the lady became very excited and almost hysterical. And so I paused a minute and she shouted, keep talking, please keep talking, because I can move my legs. I can move my legs. and so I kept talking, and well, I got a letter from her yesterday, and she says, I'm getting along fine, I'm getting around fine, and I'm coming to Mountain Brook. Well, I don't often tell stories like that, but I tell it this time because I know full well just what seemed to do the work, what seemed to do it. I can tell you that love does the work. Love does its good work. You see, God is love, and God is all. And I know that I'm not separate nor apart from that all, so I'm love too. And I know that the voice that I talk to, or the one that calls me, or the one I see, as I see you right now, you're not separate nor apart from me. I'm love. That makes you love too. Love is all that's real of me, of mine. It's all I've ever been or could be. It's all I've ever seen or could see. Love, just gentle, simple love. Love am I. I'm love, and so are you. And you know, of all the messages that might be delivered, there's really just one message. I don't care whose philosophy it is or where it comes from, or how it's clothed, or how it's ritualized, or anything else, and whether that message is human or whether it's a tree. There is really just one message, and that's love. Well, what about the story of identity? What about light? What about supply or health or wealth? Well, the only message is about love. God is all, and God is love. And I tell you, I have nothing else to say. Because I have found the love that is the identity I am. Love is this me who says my. Love is the light that is being me. Love is the supply and the health and the wealth I am. Oh, but somebody says, but well, what about children and what about life? And I say love, pure love. I don't care what it looks like. Love is the child eternal. Love is me, and I am the child. And I guess I shock an awful lot of people because they say, well, surely you make a distinction between human love and divine love. I don't do any such thing. Love is love, and love is love, indivisible. There's only one love. There are not two loves any more than there are two identities. Love, indivisible, one, whole, holy, me. Someone says, what about time and space? Let one be the love is. That is, let one know it and recognize it and live it, and that love will know all that can be known of space. And love knows there is no time but love. Oh, but this isn't good enough, you see. People say, well, tell me about gender. Tell me about the mysteries. Tell me why I feel and so forth. Love, all love, nothing but love. I am my own little boy and little girl. I am my own scuffed knees and dirty feet. I'm my own grass in my shoes and rocks, and I'm my own dirt in my ears, and I'm my own runny nose and tears, and my own bright eyes and excitement. And I'm also my own fear, if I am afraid. And you folks know that I spend much time out among the trees, as much as I can, out in the woods. And I am my own back roads and trail. I'm my own riverbanks and fields and campsites. I love am my own hawk that soars above. And I am my own mountain. And I'm my own sweat and dirt and tired legs. and I love am my own cool stream of water and firewood and lonesome campfire. Love, the love that God is, the God love that is all I am, is my sleeping bag and the night sounds. Love is my lollygog, too, tied there to a tree. And that's a river of love she floats in. I love, am not separate from my sights and sounds. We are one. One whole, total love am I. And love does the work. Love does the work. I know love does the work. I know the lady will forgive me for reading these words. This comes from a lady who, as the world would say, was blind. Listen to these words. Oh, Bill, it's so marvelous. I'm driving my car. seeing all the beautiful, dirty, dusty places that need cleaning in my house, once more able to see the steps, and so able to work in the garden. I'm almost caught up with the chores, and then I'll get out the paints and really be able to express my joy. One more thing, I know that anything I see is good because I can see it. What does that work, as appearances go, is love, nothing but love. Love does the work.